Weartesters, readers, watchers, and otherwise loyal followers, back again. This is Duke4005 with another performance review. This time on a shoe that's not really marketed in the performance standpoint, but there's certain aspects of this shoe that just scream performance to me. And this is the adidas Climachill Cosmic Boost. You got your full-on prime knit upper, boost in the forefoot, these cool little extra colored lace loops here on the side. But we'll get into all that material here in just a bit. As you can see behind me, I'm about to get hit with another thunderstorm because Texas hadn't got enough rain so far. We've got alligators crawling in all of our lakes that we have no idea where they came from, 9-10 foot alligators. We've got animals coming out that we have no idea where they're from. The joys of living in the country. So again, as you can see behind me, I'm about to get nailed. More tornadoes. So let me get this review done and get back to it. Alright, just like always, we'll start with the materials. And again, like I said, the upper is full-on prime knit. There was some confusion on this because when the shoe came out, Adidas marketed it as purely a dual density knit or a dual threaded knit or some kind of nonsense on their website. So I did check with the Adidas reps, the Adidas PR people. It is a full-on prime knit, which if you've had any prime knit shoes before, you can tell by looking at it, by feeling of it, sticking your hand in and knowing for the fact that you can see through it. And one thing these materials do, of course, as you can see, was breathability, which makes sense that this is called a Climachill Boost, that the breathability would be good. And of course the name is a prime knit woven upper, and anybody should be able to tell that a woven upper is going to have better breathability. Now as far as the strength on this, you do have the separate densities, like I guess it was marketed intentionally, but you've got a little bit of a tighter weave in the high stress spots right here on the lateral side, on the medial side, on the toe, where you would have some kind of lateral forces pushing if you were doing some weight training, cross training, that type of thing. The stripes themselves are a tighter mesh, tighter weave, and that will give you a little more support on the side. The heel is just more of a nylon area, and there's no heel cup. We'll get into that in support in a little bit. But the materials themselves, I mean, if you've worn a prime knit shoe, you know what you're getting. These things are fantastic. They're super comfortable. The only thing I did have a bit of a problem with was the inside of the tongue is made of a really open mesh, and as you can see, there's some plastic woven into it, some plastic threads. If you wear these without socks, beware. You will get some hot spots, you will get some rubbing, you are going to get some irritation along the top of your foot right through here. Just no-show socks, minimal socks, really thin socks that look good in the summertime with a low-cut shoe. You'll be fine wearing those. The forefoot, again, we'll get into more of it in the cushioning, but the material side of it, it is boost. It does go all the way from the toe to this area right here under the back of the ball of your foot. Let's cut at a slight little angle right here just to give you a little bit better coverage on that lateral side as compared to the medial side. And the heel cushioning is just an EVA. It feels very adiprene-like, but it's softer than the iteration that we found in the Wall and the Lillard. It's more of a casual lifestyle type of feel in the heel. I did feel some bottoming out trying to run in these. If I get a little bit tired running on the road, I tend to heel strike a little bit more than my normal midfoot strike, and when I would feel my heel just going straight through these, straight into the ground. So just beware if that's something you're planning on doing. Again, beware. And it makes it sound bad, but overall the shoe is a good performer. Now going from materials into the fit of the shoe, I've got this in a 10.5. I've got my Ultra Boost in a 10.5. I've got my D Roses in a 10.5. I've got all of my Kobe's in a 10.5. Basically I wear a 10.5 in every shoe that I have, and these were a little bit snug in the length, but being the prime knit material, they stretched out and formed to my toes enough that it wasn't enough to worry about sizing up. If you like a little bit of extra room, I usually have about just like a finger's width between the end of my big toe and the end of the shoe, and that's pretty much what I had in these. It just felt a little snugger the way it's cut, kind of narrow here at the end. So like I say, if you'd like a little bit more room, you could go up a half a size and be just fine. Otherwise, I'd say true to size. The heel fit, not having a real heel cup in the back, I was worried about maybe some heel slip in these, but the material itself is just so pliable that it just wraps right around your ankle, right in your ankle bone. And the laces do go far enough back here that I didn't have to tie extremely tight, so much that it cut off any kind of circulation to get the foot locked down. The rest of the shoe is just pretty much straightforward. You've got an inner sleeve here that I showed a little bit earlier with the knit. It ties into the lace loops, and it locks your foot in perfectly if you're going for any kind of run. Now, in the name of the shoe, it comes right out and it says Climachill, so that tells you what you're going to be getting into. I've already pulled the insole out of these, and you can see where the vents are on the bottom. And for you not familiar with Climachill, it's been around since I would say the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm not exactly sure, but it's Adidas's, basically their summer shoe. And what it does is it allows ventilation to come through the bottom of the shoe. That also allows any kind of water, anything when you're running, to drain out of the shoe. Not directly like you would get in a Solomon type of shoe that's built for this, but it doesn't hold the moisture in as bad as a normal running shoe would. Couple that with the prime knit on the upper, and you can wear these, and yeah, they're going to get wet, they're going to hold a little bit of water, but they're going to be better than just a normal running shoe for something like that. And here's that Climachill insole I was talking about. You can see these vents, and how they correspond with the bottom of the shoe. They sit right on top of that and allow any kind of sweat and moisture to just flow right through here into the bottom and right out the shoe. Theoretically, again, there was some retention in the shoe while I was wearing it, but it's not as bad as a normal shoe is. Going back a little bit to the cushioning, if any of you have ever worn a Boost shoe, you should know what you're getting in the forefoot. I say you should know what you're getting in the forefoot because I've never had a shoe with targeted boost that's just in the forefoot like these are. I'm not even real sure if they made it. I know the Crazy Light Boost and the Future Star Boost had the targeted in the heel, and it really didn't do its job. The forefoot boost here is harder to feel, just because you have to really press into boost sometimes when it's a performance base to get the feel out of it. In the heel, it's a lot easier. You can press down on your heel when you step in, and you can feel the compression, you can feel the bounce back. In the forefoot, it's cut thinner, so there's not as much compression as there is in the heel, so you don't get that immediate response and feel to it. Now, the response in the feel is good. It's still there. You just don't get that immediate feedback to your foot that lets you know it's doing its job. However, after you get done with a run, working on some sprint work where you're on your toes a lot and your feet feel fresh, your feet feel good, that's when you know it did its job, and these shoes did its job perfectly. Now, the difference in the cushion can be felt. I won't lie to you. There's a transition here from the EVA to the Boost, and as you're running, like I said, this EVA is really soft in the back. It's not adiprene. It's really a soft EVA. I'm pushing in, just barely pushing with my finger, and you see what I'm getting. And I'm pushing in the forefoot, and it's a little bit denser, which makes for a little bit of a weird transition if you're a heel striker or a midfoot striker. You feel the sinking feeling in the back, and it rolls into the foot, and it's really compressed and dense. And at first, to get used to it, it was really different, but now that I'm used to them a little bit, it does give a little more toe off and a little more spring. One thing I usually don't go over is durability, because I don't wear the shoes long enough to get a good measure on that. I'm usually in a new pair in a couple of weeks, but with this having this pretty much the same outsole density and pattern as the Ultra Boost and the Pure Boost last year, I decided to go ahead and look at this. These nubs are about the same size when these shoes came in as what the Ultra Boost are. If you picked them up in store, these have got about 75 miles on them, and the nubs, as you can see under the forefoot, are pretty much gone. That worries me a little bit, but the rubber itself is fairly thick here on the bottom. You can see in the pattern here where I stick my thumb in. I mean, it's fairly thick past the nubs, and I haven't shown any wear on that area yet. You can still see the tread pattern here on part of it where that hasn't worn away. So I'm pretty positive these will last me probably another 80 to 100 miles before the bottom is completely gone. I'm into the Boost. That may not be enough for some of you, but it's plenty for me. So take a cue from that, and if that's not enough, then go a different route. If it is enough, check these out. Alright, so I think that's about all I can say about the Climachill Boost, which most of you are probably happy about. I've said too much already. It's got all the aspects of a great performer already in it. I just wish it would have had maybe a Boost heel insert in this area just to give it a little more bounce, a little more spring to it. Otherwise, it's a it's a good shoe. It's a good running shoe. I won't say it's a great shoe because it's not on par with the Ultra Boost. It's not on par with the, in my opinion, the Energy Boost 2s or the any of the technical runners that you can get with Boost in them. But overall, I mean, if you're wanting a lifestyle shoe that you can put some performance into, wear to the gym, kick around in at the same time, this is a shoe that you should definitely look at. It's priced at $140. I know there hasn't been a lot of marketing for it, so I can see that price going down fairly soon on some of the colorways. I got this colorway from Adidas. I haven't seen it in stores yet. It's a navy blue. I have seen the black in stores and some of the royal blue and some of the lime green. So they've got some different colorways out there. The lace loops are pretty much the same on all of them. So if you like the different colored lace loops, don't worry. Any color of the shoe has got those in there. Sorry, it is definitely raining now, and I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick because the Warriors are about to put the spanking on those Cavs and take that championship to the Bay Area. See the A's hat? Sorry, I don't have a Warriors hat. I had to roll with the A's hat just to show some kind of support for the Bay Area. What up, Nightwing? Anyway, going back to it, the Adidas Climachill Cosmic Boost, definitely check it out if this is a trait you're looking for as far as boosting the forefoot and casual wear to kick around in. It's definitely my summer shoes so far. So, up next, I have no idea. I'm wide open. I've got nothing on the plate. So we'll see what comes out. I know the Hyper Dunks are July 1st. I'm looking very forward to those. The KD8s from Nike, I'm looking forward to seeing what those are actually bringing to the table, and we'll go from the reviews for there. So until next time, Duke4005. See ya.